All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celebrating Greater Peoria Area's Rich Basketball History. Youngsters these days need to do their homework. Well, they didn't have to go too far back for this one. This is the 2017-2018 Metamora Redbirds. What's up, fellas? How you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Great to see you. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. This is the most participants I've ever had on one of my shows. This is about the 20th show that I've done. And again, I'm celebrating Greater Peoria area basketball history, in which you guys are definitely a part of. So hello, Coach Grieves. How you doing, brother?
Doing fantastic. Just waiting to try to get a season started. So we've got good news, and we start practice back tomorrow.
That's awesome. I can't wait. Believe that. And Collin Dietz, I've never seen your hair this long, brother. You're looking good up there. What's up, Collin?
Appreciate it. How are you doing, Coach?
That's the motto up there, the man's threat and the lady's pet.
I'm like that. I don't know. I'm excited
You knew I
to
was
talk
gonna
about
mess
this
with you.
season, though.
All right.
Yep.
And then we got Justin Dehm, a Peoria legend by his own right. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good. How you, Curly?
Good, brother. And Turner Mann, my Twitter buddy. What's up,
Oh
Turner?
yeah, not much. How you doing?
Good. You sound like you in a fishbowl, man. Where you at?
I'm in a conference room. Yeah, not a lot of good sound here.
Okay. All right. And Thomas Hall, how are you, bro?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good.
Yep.
Payton Havens, like the hair, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Good. Clayton Bachman, looking like a lumberjack. What's going on, man?
Not much. How we doing?
We doing good. And the sharpshooter, baseball player, multiple sport athlete, Andrew Bius. How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm sorry, multiple sport Turner Mann. Sorry about that. Anyway, we're going to talk about the 2017-2018 season, but we got to go back. We got to let the audience know about your maturation as basketball players. So I'm going to start with, let's see, Payton Havens. Tell us where you grew up and who put the love in your heart? Who gave you the passion for the game of basketball?
All right. So, I was born in Canton, but I grew up in Lewistown till about the second grade. And I didn't really want to play basketball when I was younger, but my dad kind of got me into it, like the YMCA, the wristband league, like you guard whatever colored wristband you got. And then
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really young. And once I started doing that, I fell in love with the sport.
All right. So how did you get over closer to, I guess, the Peoria area from Canton or Lewiston area?
My mom is a teacher, and she started teaching in Canton, so we kind of moved there. And then after that, we just started moving around and ended up in Metamora.
Okay. I'll leave it at that. Clayton.
Yes.
Take us back, man. Take us back to the mean streets of Metamora.
Oh no, there's nothing mean about Metamora. I'll tell you that much. But probably started in about second grade. Same thing as Payton. The wristband league. You had to guard the person that had the same color wristband as you. Played that for like 2 years, and then got into travel league in about fourth grade. Played that till sixth grade, and then just basically played all the way up till high school.
Okay. Andrew.
He was killing in camps. Tell him about your summer camp, man. Go ahead.
Which one?
Our camp. He would come up to us, and he was this little round guy, man, and says, "I'm gonna be a star at the high school one day." We all looked at him and go, "I know you are, man. I know you are." And sure enough, man, he made a point of it, Curly Boo, from the get-go. And we chuckled a lot early on. When it was all over, nobody was chuckling.
So you're being modest, Clayton. You were handling business back in the day, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Andrew, take us back.
Yeah. So I live here in Germantown Hills, so about five minutes for Metamora. I played, our low wristband league, just like Peyton and Clayton here. And I played travel ball hills. And then I really found a love for the game after going through Coach Gary and Coach Patrick Vaughn as well, who also coached us up in high school. He saw something in me that, not many others did, and kept me motivated for grade school and high school. So.
All right. Turner.
Yeah, pretty much same thing as all the other guys. Played in the wristband league growing up, and then took it to
Shout
travel.
out to the wristband league.
Oh, yeah. And then took it to travel, where pretty much got more serious 4th through 6th grade. And that's where I really fell in love with the game, and then played junior high, and then started in high school. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thomas Hall.
Yeah, same story as the rest of them, but I moved to Metamora, first grade, played travel ball, same league as all them. Dad coached me, along with Drew Damery's dad, coached us in the wristband league. And then we probably coached us up to about 5th grade. Then we played grade school ball, played with Turner. And then after that, moved on to high school ball, which I've been playing ever since.
Okay, now you're 6'9". Where did you get that height from? Did your mom or dad play hoops?
No, neither one of them actually played hoops. Neither one of them are either too tall. I mean, they're both good height. My dad's 6'3", my mom's 5'8", so they're both good size.
Okay.
Nothing like me.
All right. Collin Dietz.
My story's pretty similar to Peyton's. Started playing basketball at Lewistown. Most I remember was just on a blacktop in the middle of a cornfield. That's kind of where we fell in love with it. My dad and I bonded over it. So he played basketball growing up, and I looked up to my dad, and that's just how basically I got into basketball. I wanted to do something that we could bond over, and that's why I'm into it today, or was.
Did you? How were the battles between you and your dad? Who won those one-on-one games?
We played a lot of pig, actually, and I mean, he had me at first, but I'd say today I beat him, and I beat him all through high school. Easy, sharpshooter.
Okay. All right. And we got a Peoria boy here. Justin, take us back, man. Let everybody know how you got involved in the game and developed the passion that you have, the unbridled passion that you have. I got a lot of respect for your game. So please tell the audience how you grew up.
It's similar to these guys, except in Peoria, wristband leagues when you're 2nd grade, 3rd grade, playing travel basketball. Biggest difference would be, fell in love with basketball by watching Michael Bulls in the 90s, watching Peoria Manual, Peoria Central in the 90s, just going to high school games, watching the Bulls on TV, fell in love with the game, and, still got that same passion today.
Do you have any other family members that were involved in the game?
Yeah, I got a couple little brothers, Jared and Jordan, both graduated from Metamora. Jordan went on to play at Eureka College, went to the D3 National Championship a couple years ago. And Jared, my younger brother, is actually one of our coaches right now. So he's helping us out. He's our main weight room coach. He does a great job. He studied kinesiology in college. So he's a huge asset to our program.
One thing you kind of left out was your junior year at Richwoods and the sensational season that you guys had, and going all the way to the state championship and losing to Simeon, and a guy that has become a household name for any basketball enthusiast, and that's Derrick Rose, and you held your own. So I think it's well documented, but how many people come up and ask you about playing against Simeon and Derrick Rose?
Well, after today, the last time I heard about it was 2 days ago when I was at my grandpa's house, and some guy from the neighborhood came over and he had to tell him the whole story. So I got to relive that the other day. And, it just happens all the time. Most kids will find out at school. I teach at Morton High School, and they'll ask me about it all the time. So, it's kind of a weekly or monthly type of deal comes up now that I'm not coaching Turner Mann anymore, because he used to bring it up every day.
That's cool.
But yeah,
that
was real similar to our 2017-2018 Metamora season, kind of off to a slow start and just got it clicking at the right time. Played real well in the postseason, and just both seasons ended in heartbreak.
Yeah, we will get to that a little bit later.
What was kind of cool, Curly Boo, was when he was in the wristband league, his dad and I were coaching him, and I'll tell you what, he's pretty modest. We went through every league that we were in, we won, and we didn't lose at all. And so there was 2 leagues we were asked not to come back because they were just too good, and it was because of him. There was just no stopping him. He was so driven, it was ridiculous. Then we had a couple other pieces that went along with it, and his dad's pretty driven too. And so it was a lot of fun. That's when I first got to know him.
Okay. You guys have a history. That's awesome. Coach Grieves, you're one of my older sister's favorite classmates, by the way. Peoria High Central class of 1976. Yeah. So take us back, man. I know a lot about you, but the audience, whoever's watching, may not know your background. So please tell us.
Well, when they talk about the wristband league, they didn't have it back then, but they did have a league, and it was down across from Taft Homes, and Salvation Army League, and that was the cool league to be in if you were in Peoria. And of course, I was in that since 3rd grade, and when I was in 2nd grade, they didn't have it. All they'd have is you could go in there, and Paul Rutherford, who ran the thing, would put you through some different drills, but he goes, you guys are you're too little squirts. Wait till next year. And so we did. But as I was going there, and it was a Willie Betts. We had some guys that were really good in that league that were from Taft area, and then just all around the town, some of the Catholic school kids. Steve Harper was in that league. That's when I first got to meet him, was in 3rd grade. He played for the Peoria Firefighters. I played for Amway Vac, which was just down the street. My mom and my dad was over down from Monroe Street. And so as I'm listening to this practice going as a 2nd grader, this man's yelling and screaming and hollering. I'm going, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. It was a guy by the name of Terry Knapp. That was his first coaching job that I ever saw. He was a coach down at Biddy basketball for Paul Rutherford. But that's kind of got me started. That's where I played. I didn't even play for Holy Family. I grew up just down the street from Sterling Grade School. And so, where I got influenced from playing ball was at Sterling Blacktop, which is pretty doggone good basketball. And right. And down there across from Taft Homes. So that's the only basketball I ever knew. And so, we got to Holy Family in 1972. I graduated there, and then had a choice. My mom and dad both went to the Spalding, the academy. We had 6 kids. My dad said, you want to go to private school, you can. And we go, he was working 2 jobs in. I said, nope. Well, we all went to Peoria Central High School, and probably best decision I ever made. The things that I learned with the people and the friends and the camaraderie and the different cultures was just amazing. And to this day, I'm still friends with all those people. But basketball was so good back then. Now, we went undefeated our freshman year. We went 18-0, and nobody came close to us. Our sophomore year, we lost 1 game, and that was because we were at Springfield High, and one of the guards got hurt at the varsity level. And so they stole Dan Ruffin, because Dan Ruffin was our starting guard, the old coach from Central. And that was the first game in 2 years we didn't have him. We got beat like right at the buzzer. And so I think Ricky Spencer might have been the guy that took it over. But we had some really good basketball. We had a guy by the name of Jim Ellinghausen that moved after his freshman year. We would have been really good. We would have been good enough to maybe go against Richwood's team that was so good. Because Jim was 6'10", and he was with Big Jim Smith at Ohio State, and he started at Ohio State. Tremendous talent. And that's what Richwoods back in the day had over us. Derek Holcomb, Mark Smith, you couldn't deal with the 1-2 punch at 6'8" and 6'10". And so, we had tremendous talent on our team. And, we got beat by Richwoods 3 times my senior year. And we only had.
I heard that you guys gave them a really close game, because a lot of people don't know about, I'm sure you gentlemen don't know about Richwoods of 1976. They were #1 ranked all year long with All-American center Derek Holcomb and a junior and Mark Smith, who was an incredible player. A lot of people don't know, well, the younger people don't know about that team, how great they were. They went undefeated and lost in the regional championship. One of the best teams, what we call the best that never was, kind of.
They got beat at Galesburg the same night we got beat at Manual. And
Ooh, wow.
that was a heartbreak. But
didn't you guys play them close?
Oh, yes, we did. And we had some internal strife right then. It just goes to show you that mentally, if you're not ready and you're not all pulling the same direction, you know, I believe Curly Boo, that's what we taught the 1977 team. Ask those guys, they'll tell you. You know what, we could have been better teammates in that regional, and that really hurt us. But, you know, tremendous talent if you think about it. On that team, there was 8 guys went Division I from sophomores, juniors, and seniors on that team. I mean,
wow.
You know, when you talk about just solid basketball, it was that way at Richwoods, you know, and Manual was coming at that point, you know, and you know, would have had Big Mike Robinson. I mean, he was horrible to play against. I mean, he wouldn't just beat you, he'd beat you up. I mean, he was a physical guy. He had his hair piled high. He looked like he was about 7 foot tall. You know, he could go inside, outside. So basketball was a lot of fun back in those days.
Absolutely. I mean, I was in grade school at the time, and I call those the glory years as far as I'm concerned, watching Mid-State 9 and Mid-State 10 basketball. So as far as you guys are concerned, we're going to move forward to 2017. You guys get 2 great transfers to come over. I'm not sure, was Nealon a transfer as well?
Actually 3. So yeah, it was Joe Nealon also.
Yes. Where did he transfer from?
Because
I don't know everything.
He was a freshman at Notre Dame.
Right.
He was a sophomore at Richwoods, and he was a junior at Metamora.
Okay. So you
traveled around a little bit, but you know, I've known his dad for a long, long time, and his dad's a great guy, and Joe's a good kid, and Joe is one of those things that really takes to coaching, and he needs reps and he needs structure. And so that's why I believe under our structure and our program, he just really flourished. And at the beginning of that first year, you know, he thought he knew a lot of basketball, and he found out that he knew some, but there was a lot to learn. And man, he was, by the time he was done with us in 2 years, and he was as good as anybody in the league. He was tremendous.
And then you have Dietz and Havens come over from Washington, and that summer, going into the 2017-2018 season, coaches, Justin and Danny, did you guys feel like maybe we have the nucleus to make a run that you guys made?
Yeah. We knew we had a lot of size, a lot of athleticism. It was kind of a little different than most of the teams we've had around Metamora. We've always had good size. We haven't always been the quickest. We haven't always been the most athletic. We hadn't had very many dunks in games before this group came along. So these guys were a lot of fun to coach. It kind of pushed us outside of our comfort zone, you know, to do less and to give them a little bit more freedom and push the pace a little bit. And they were a lot of fun.
But then we had, you know, so many guys could do a lot of things. You know, we had to mold them into, okay, you got to give up something personally for the good of the group, you know, and it took a while to get some chemistry with that. And you could see it started in the summer, and they really wanted to work together. And if they'll do that, I mean, that's 95% of the problem. So that was, they had great attitudes, Curly Boo. It was nice.
Awesome. So you got them to buy in. And were you guys in the Richwood shootout? Okay, you were in the Richwood shootout. And usually from everything I've heard, that is kind of a prediction of how you're going to do during the regular season. Is how you do in that Richwood shootout. So was there a certain time where you're like, bam, we click? Was it in the Richwood shootout or after that?
Not right off the bat. It was a great first look to see kind of what we had, but I don't think we had our full squad for the whole thing. I can't remember who was gone. Might have been Collin one day and Thomas the next day. And I know Payton was having some bad cramps on that second day. Went down towards the end, and, you know, we planned 3 days the day before and 3 games the next day, and you just kind of start to wear down. But you get to see like flashes when you play a team like a Lincoln, or you end up matched up with Central or you matched up with Manual, and you just kind of see it exposes your weaknesses and lets you know what you need to work on if you want to beat teams like that. And shows you.
But it definitely showed us that we had some pieces. You could see it. You know, with Collin and his athleticism, the way he could just take off, and you know, and all the way down the line with Payton, you know, you weren't going to press us. It just wasn't going to happen. Yep. And then with Andrew and Thomas knocking down threes, and then you got guys that were really buying in, you know, like Turner Mann, where you know he could probably start on no other team, but he started on our team and was a huge factor. You know, athleticism didn't have his name on it, but what he brought to the table was the coach on the floor, and we couldn't be without him at times. Then there was times where he couldn't get out there, and the biggest thing is we got him to buy in and to understand the difference between the two. And it was the same thing with Clayton, you know, and guys that when the other teams look down the other court and they go, we got this, and our guys already knew. We're going, man, did you see that? They're fixing to get tore up, and that's exactly what would happen. But our problem is we had so many different pieces that we needed time, you know, and you can't buy time. You just got to let the mistakes happen and let it cure and let it work. And so that's what we did. And the guys were great with it.
Appreciate your handles, Havens. First time I ever met you, I think I told you, I'm like, yeah, I like that. I like that. You know, I'm a dribbler. So yeah, I appreciate your handle. So I'm glad you mentioned that, Danny. I have a bunch of questions for you guys, but you guys can jump in on this. Tell me about the regular season and the great teams that you face and the great players. So you guys can jump in at any time. This question is for all of you.
I'd like to say Morton was always a really good team for us to play. We always kind of seemed to struggle, especially when we played at Morton. I mean, it was always a lot of fun playing against Barrick Golden and Jarrett Kreider. They always gave us a tough matchup every single time. But, I mean, all in all, looking back, I love playing against Morton and playing at Morton. We had to deal with a lot of adversity there, I feel like, with the student section and just everything else going on in that small, like, boxy gym. But that was probably one of my favorite teams to play.
Dome, that's not a dome.
The dome. Did you hear him? He said the dome that's not a dome.
There it is.
Yeah, to piggyback off Collin here, I think when we played at Morton, that was our turning point in the season. You know, we got manhandled that whole second half. And after the game, you know, we all sat down together and I was like, we got to fix this. And we were playing, I think, the number one team in the state at the time, Springfield Southeast, and the next day. And after getting beat by Morton, you know, pretty handily, you know, everyone kind of expected us to get blown out the next game, 10 a.m. game. But we showed up and we gave Springfield Southeast a run for their money. So even though we didn't win, you know, that was kind of our turning point that we can play with anyone in the state. You know, we kind of carried that momentum on for the rest of the year. And, you know, it didn't show with wins and losses, but, you know, all week, going hard, and, you know, games, playing hard, and, you know, finally started turning our way towards the end of the season where we got hot.
I would say when it comes to the players that we played, probably Bloomington's Chris Payton. He's a good one. And then Southeast, Springfield Southeast, Fairley. Can't remember his first name, but I think it was Anthony.
Yep.
But those are probably two of the best kids we played all year.
Right. Payton.
Yeah.
Okay. What were some of the great teams that you played against? What were some of the great teams that you played against and great players that you played against during the season and most notably in the Mid-Illini Conference?
I'm gonna have to say obviously Washington. Every time we played them during the regular season, we lost. It would kind of go back and forth, but they had a really good team that year. Adrian Ware, they had JJ Gaudet, they had Cam Motler. Those are the ones I can think of right now, but I don't know. I feel like that was probably the best talent we played against other than Morton.
How about North Lawndale?
They were pretty good.
That was a rough game. Kid came out and went 8 for 9 from the 3-point line on us that night.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
I know you guys remember that game.
I remember.
We were all over him too. There's nothing else we could have done.
Overtime loss against Rock Island kind of hurt a little bit at the tournament.
Yep.
Won the first, got into the winners bracket for the first time ever.
Yeah, we did.
Turner Mann.
I mean, not that they're like really known as like powerhouses of the mid-alignment, but I think playing against teams like Limestone and EP really toughened us because they're scrappy and they didn't really care, you know, who we were, how good we were. They just went and played their hearts out and just made it tough every time. Even we lost to Limestone pretty bad at Limestone. I think that was also one of the turning points where like, man, we just lost and we were not expected to do anything like that. So
Mike Dunn had a real good game that game.
You know, I'm glad that you mentioned Mike Dunn because he sent me a message saying who was the toughest that you guys had to face in the Mid-Illini. So I'm glad that you mentioned Mikey.
I'm not sure who the toughest was. I'd say all in all, the game we really had to grit out probably, I'd say, was Washington. I mean, we had lost to them already. I think it was what? Twice. I'd lost to them twice, and then that third game for the regional championship, that was we had to really grit that game out. Triple overtime game. I mean, that's just something you really can't make again. It was an amazing experience, to be honest.
Absolutely. Thomas Hall.
Yeah, I'd say some of the best players we played were the Chris Payton from Bloomington, Anthony Fairley, played with him in summer ball, AAU ball. He's a good player. And then throughout the conference, there's good players all over. But, I mean, I think overall we probably had the best squad. But, yeah, some of the toughest teams were definitely Morton and Washington for me specifically. But Barrick Olden was always a good matchup for me to play against. Similar guys, similar size. But he's a good guy. I know him to this day. But he's a good player.
All right. Well, it's kind of a good segue into the regionals. I believe that you guys had the number 3 seed, and you play Richwoods, Justin's alma mater. But if I remember, wasn't there a dramatic game at your gym, and my boy Jalen Jose hit a long 3 and celebrated NFL style? Not in the end zone, but on the sideline with the parents. And that was your first opponent in the regionals. And I think that there was some situation with some hard fouls and rough play. Am I correct?
Yeah. It was kind of a perfect setup for us when we talked about when we got our seed and we saw our path. It was like, hey, we get a chance to play Richwoods again, who we really felt like we didn't play well the first time. We're down like 12, and I remember Coach getting into Thomas in the huddle, and Thomas goes out and scores like 13 straight unanswered points to get us back in the game. We end up losing at the buzzer, obviously, for like one of the third or fourth time that happened all year. And, you know, it just worked out good. We had motivation. We had that factor of we need to make up for what happened last time on our court. And then you just combine that with the fact that they had a lot of seniors. It's a desperation mode, and, you know, it's a lose and go home. And so it gets a little bit rough and chippy out there in the second half when we're up 15, 20 points and they don't want to go home. And it's just kind of one of those things that happens in postseason sometimes. But it was a great setup, and then we get the chance to go after Washington again and get some more revenge on them.
Yeah, and that had to be super revenge for Collin and Payton. You know, you guys transfer over to Metamora, and then you get to go back and stick it to Washington. That had to be very gratifying.
I think that might have been the first time that Metamora's beat them there.
Wow.
First time since I've been there, I think.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but
been a while.
How much fun was
that? Thanks, Coach.
I mean, come on, how much fun was that? Because you got, you know, JJ lost the ball, you picked it up, you throw it ahead to Collin. Collin makes that left to right. I mean, he couldn't wrote a better script, Curly.
I don't
It
even
was,
think he looked when he shot that layup. I think he just threw it behind him and it went in.
But the atmosphere that night was absolutely unbelievable. Like, we couldn't ask for a better student section. Like, they really brought in great energy for us. And I mean, that was a night that you really can't recreate, in my opinion.
You
I had
know,
a chance to talk to quite a few people that have, born and bred over in Washington. They said that's probably the most exciting game they've ever been to, and we haven't missed a game in 40 years. And I thought that was a pretty good compliment to our guys.
I mean, that's awesome. And like I said, very gratifying for Payton and Collin to come back and beat the team that they once played for. And I go to the games when I have the chance, when I'm around, and I see the student section. Student sections can be very brutal. So were they giving Collin and Payton the blues that night?
No, yeah, for sure. They were pretty rough on us. I do remember that student section. Just try and block it out, obviously. But I mean, you hear everything once in a while, of course. Yeah, they were pretty brutal that night.
Were any ex-girlfriends giving you guys the blues that night?
I don't
Payton
think so.
probably had 3 or 4 up there.
Payton probably had a couple.
What I remember best about that, or a couple different things about the win, though, is, we got some guys that excel at certain things, and Clayton's not one guy that gets a lot of air in his jump, or he was hard time hitting his free throws. And what does he do best, man? He takes charges. When he took that charge late in the game, it was just amazing. It took the air. It was a game changer.
Yep.
And then the other shot that was the biggest shot of the game, other than the one that obviously Collin made, and that was tremendous. But without that 3-pointer that Andrew Bius hit, I mean, we don't get to that point. I mean, so there was so many guys that did so many different things. We teach all the time about little things make the big things happen. And that they finally started buying in late in the season, and it really came to a head with the Richwoods game and the Washington game. And I told them that sky's the limit. Just keep doing what you're doing. Was that pretty much not it, fellas?
Mm-hmm.
Your fish to fry, right, Coach?
There you go.
All right. Well, then you get in the sectional and at the Renaissance, correct? And you got
LaSalle, Peru.
Yeah.
really, you guys
got
weren't.
cheated.
It wasn't at wow.
1 year. The 1 year it wasn't there. Yeah.
That was terrible. LaSalle
So we
Peru
gotta
High
go.
School.
Pardon me?
It was LaSalle Peru High School. It's not even at a civic center. It was really a letdown. But we packed the place. Our fans were awesome.
I did notice that, in the research that I did, that your fans turned out for you guys big time. And that's special. So you got Dixon, and you outlast Dixon 43-38. And then you got Sterling, who just can't get the state.
Mm-hmm.
They have these great seasons every year, and they run into Peoria teams and can't make it. But you beat Sterling 48-43. And now you guys got the super sectional coming up. So what was it like that week of school? I believe the super sectional is on a Tuesday. So what was it like that Monday at school? Did you guys I'm sure you had to have a pep rally. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what was that like walking around school knowing that we're one game away?
I mean, I know. Go ahead, Payton.
It was like a very anxious feeling. Not like a bad thing, but like just wanting to get there. Go ahead, Clayton.
Okay.
I know a lot of people were talking about, win this game, let's get school canceled. That was a big thing around. But, a lot of people just very encouraging, like good luck, all that stuff. So that was really nice. I mean, even like some people never showed up to the games or don't even really care about basketball. You had them in class or whatever, they just tell you good luck, So it helped a lot.
Right. Feel free to jump in, fellas.
Definitely. Stuff on the walls and everything.
The cheerleaders had made like signs and everything. There was all of our wins on the wall that had Payton W's over all of them. And so there's like good times about that, and then the teachers, the staff, and everyone was very they were welcoming to us getting that far, and they were congratulating us on getting that far and wishing us luck.
So everyone was pretty calm. So everyone was pretty encouraging. And then one thing I remember most is one of my buddies, Colton Kaler, did the broadcasting for Metamora, and I just remember him grilling me, asking everything about Marian Catholic, what the scouting report was. And it's like, I can't give away everything, but just trying to, stay positive. Everyone was good, and good luck. It was pretty fun. Good time.
Good.
Yeah, I'd say there were a lot that day of school. And then I remember that practice, I believe we went out. We did go to the Renaissance Coliseum for practice the night before, which was pretty neat. So we kind of got that, big court feeling since, NIU's a little bit bigger than high school gym, of course. So, being able to have that background, practice that background, things like that, that definitely really helped us out too. And I thought it was a lot of fun.
So that Monday night, do you guys get any sleep? Or is, there's that great song, Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow. I don't know who sings it, but
I slept like
Fleetwood Mac. So with that being said, did you guys have that feeling that you couldn't get any sleep because you're thinking about Chicago Marian and the game and all hyped up?
I say definitely. I think I had like pregame butterflies on Monday, and they probably didn't leave until the game was over.
Wow.
No, I definitely slept good the night before, but all Tuesday, I definitely was nervous. Like that bus ride, it felt like 4 hours.
I think that previous night, we went out to eat and stuff, and we were out messing around with one of our buddies who was also a senior, Ben Tyler. I remember specifically we were messing with him, with his car and stuff, just, having a good time, just, trying to take it all in. And coaches always told us, to treat every game, just like another one. So, I mean, the butterflies were obviously there, but as far as like sleep and stuff, just got to be prepared for the next game.
Yeah. Coaches, did you guys stay up late going over scouting reports for Marian and preparing for a very tough opponent?
Yeah, we really didn't get a whole lot of sleep from the time we won the sectional to, I'd say, even a week later, because obviously we didn't sleep much after that super sectional game. But a lot of late night phone conversations about what are we going to do with Marian, and a lot of watching film, charting stats, trying to get as many games as we could and as much stat work as we could to find out who can shoot, who can't shoot, who we need to foul if we're down, what are our best matchups if we go man, and are we going to play man, are we going to play zone, that type of stuff. But we were up till midnight every night, past midnight, just talking.
And the great thing is, Justin is just amazing at getting film. So I mean, we had all their games, and so we watched them all and charted them all. We had every coach take a game, and so we knew who was going to do where and what. And it's tremendous ability to break a game down and take a look at it and then relay it to the kids. I mean, they were well prepared. They knew exactly what they were going to do. And I think the biggest thing is you can do all that, but if your kids don't buy in and if they don't listen and then try to apply it, and our guys did, and as the season went on, they just kept getting tighter focus, and we were right there. We should have had that. I mean, we had them. We just let them off the hook.
If you remember, Coach, we picked up a film on the way home after the game. They had you guys remember, we stopped, got off the interstate for a second, picked up our camera. I had let one of my AAU players' parents borrow a camera because the sectional was being held at Pontiac. And she filmed it for us, met us right outside of Pontiac on our way back. And we had the film on huddle earlier or later that night so we could watch it. So our guys did a great job getting prepared.
They did. They really did. So proud.
Then we played some kickball the next day. Or was it wiffle ball?
Oh, yeah.
Wiffle.
Wiffle
It was
ball.
wiffle ball.
It was
Well,
big
after
ball-
Washington was
All
kicking.
after the regional.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are playing a very formidable opponent in Chicago Heights Marion, and you take a 1-point lead at halftime, 25-24. I believe Payton, you made a nice dime to Turner Mann. Oh, wait a minute.
I think it might have been Joe.
What was it?
I think it might have been Joe Nealon.
Joe Nealon. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You guys led 25-24 at half. Then you had a 35-30 lead heading into the fourth quarter after a Nealon layup from a great pass from you, Havens. And then you guys jump out in the fourth quarter strong with a 39-30 lead, and they fought back, hit a couple of clutch three-pointers to close it up, and it was back and forth or close game up until regulation. But in overtime, Marion takes a 46-44 lead with the ball, and then you guys tie them up for a jump ball. And it goes into that last possession with 19 seconds left, in which Havens, you drove left and passed back to Thomas. Thomas pump fake, step back three. Was that a planned play for him to shoot the three when you guys were down 2 with 19 seconds left?
Yeah,
We were picking and popping.
Go ahead, Coach.
Go ahead, Coach. You got it.
Well, it was the same thing we ran in regulation, just didn't quite make the right read. So, we had to trust in our guys that, hey, Payton and Collin and Thomas, they're going to make the right decision this time. They're going to figure it out. So we knew they hedged really hard off Payton on the ball screen. Payton drove it in deep, drew 2 guys, kicked it back to Thomas. And it was just a matter of Thomas knocking down the shot or swinging it one more. And he put on a great move and knocked it down.
On the screen, if they really wanted, they should have called the foul, because the guy just tried to run through the screen. He knocked Thomas back about 1.5 feet. And so he was slow popping because of that. So, they swallowed the whistle on that. But
Okay.
you could see that too, man. It was right there. The thing that bothered me the most, Curly Boo, because now we're all up watching it because they're going to show it on the big screen. And they show it, and his foot's that far back. And I look at the ref, and I go, there you go. And he goes, no, it was still a good call. And so I just thought at that point, the screwing was in, man. I was so disappointed, because how could you just see it? Because everybody watched it and say to me, point blank, no, that was still a good call. I went, how can you argue from there out? There's nothing else I could say.
Well, I was watching that game live, and, as you guys know, I follow Central Illinois basketball religiously, and I have a history with Collin and Payton and Thomas, and watching that game, and of course Coach Grieves, watching that game, I remember the step back three, but then they showed it on the Jumbotron, and it was clearly a 3-pointer. And the shorter of the 3 referees had his hand up, and it was a 3. But then I saw the ball-headed referee, the lighter skin of the 2 brothers,
Yes.
overrule his call and said a 2. And I don't know. I know that they can't go to the monitor, but it was very frustrating to watch. So at that point, after you hit the shot, Thomas, what was going through your mind? I mean, you knew it was a 3, and what was going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, well, I'd stepped back and I made the shot, and I thought I was behind the 3-point line, and I knew it was going to be close, but I didn't know if I stepped on line or anything. And then they replayed it. Everyone called it a 3 at first, and the crowd was going crazy. And then they stopped the game, and we went over to our benches, and the one guy called off as a 2 and everything. And all of a sudden, they put it up on the Jumbotron. You see it. I step back, and my left foot's on the college 3-point line instead of the high school 3-point line. And so you see that, and just kind of heartbreaking. And you're kind of like, why aren't you going to change the call? I mean, you can see it. I can see it. We're not blind. You're a referee. I'm a player. We both can see. Like, it's something we both saw, and we wish it was different today, but nothing we can do about it now. But
Coaches?
Well, it was kind of chaotic because, you know, they spent a couple minutes trying to figure out if it was going to be turned over to a 3 or a 2 or what it was going to be. And then they get a chance to kind of talk on the other end because they weren't calling a timeout. They just kind of threw the ball in and we're just going to hopefully get a shot. And now they get a chance to settle in, draw something up. And we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. And, you know, it's just one of those things where I think we just got a little bit rattled and we came out and we weren't quite on the same page. I think just kind of got to us. It's one of those things where, you know, we all knew it was wrong and we just couldn't quite get over it and kind of let that get in our heads a little bit when we went back out on the court. And credit to them, they made a tough shot. A first team All-State kid makes a tough shot at the buzzer to win it.
But I will tell you this, you know, at the time it was 8-3 on fouls. You know what? And our guys are reacting to everything that we're saying. All right. Every little thing we tell them, they're trying to do. He hits the shot. We tell them, all right, get ready. We're going to foul. They're ready to foul. All right. And then when that happened, they switched it. As they came over and looked in my eyes, there was nothing there. I couldn't get one thought across to them. You know, and it's not an excuse. It just is what it is. I'm going, Justin, they're not even here, man. We got to, you know, and they just, it was almost like they were zombies, you know? And so you can't tell me that with 7 seconds left, they get the ball out with less than 6, maybe, that we couldn't foul them 3 times up the floor for them not to get a shot unless it's in desperation. And that was the whole thing for me. You know, they go, well, they still hit the shot, and they did. But it was in a team that was a disarray, and mentally, we were checked out, unfortunately. You know, we were still trying to process it. I think that's probably a better way to put it, because it was a bam, bam thing. You know what? And we're still thinking, well, maybe they'll give it to us because we just saw it. There's no way they can take that away. And they did. And all of a sudden, he's got the ball, 2 dribbles or 3 dribbles and a pass down there to catch and shoot, and game over. Yep. You know, all of a sudden, we're headed to the locker room. And
we thought we had the thing won. We thought we were going to state. We thought we were getting a trophy. You know, you go from that high, and then to have to try to get back and refocus is asking a whole lot. It's not an easy thing to do. Even
they didn't. If there's a fault, it's probably our fault, Coach and I, because we didn't reel them in. But I didn't know what else. We did all we could, man. And so did our kids. You couldn't ask anything more.
It's not your fault, coaches. And I watched that game. I was very pissed off, as you know, Danny. And what I hated was the Chicago sports writer. I can't think of his name. He said, well, it didn't make a difference. They made the 3-pointer anyway. Right. But that is obviously the statement of somebody that's probably never worn a jock strap in his life and played ball. When you're down 1 with the ball, the pressure to make that shot is enormous. Mm-hmm. Okay. And there's no pressure really, in my opinion, to make a shot when the game is tied, when you got the ball. So that bullshit that he said, it wasn't floating with me. And I took to social media, and some of my Chicago friends got on my case about it, but I don't give a damn. I ain't got to work for them. But nevertheless, I felt bad for you guys because I felt that it was unfair.
Because think about this. Think about the pressure that was on Tommy down 2. Mm-hmm. You know, you miss this, they rebound, game's probably over. And for him to step up and hit that step back, I mean, that was tremendous. It really was.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
And the thing
that was Tuesday, and I saw you guys on Friday. And at the Civic Center, I always go to the tournament, and I was talking to Eddie Matthews, and it was weird. A lot of the guys that I knew growing up were coaches, were all in the same section. It was you, Danny, Danny Ruffin, Eddie Matthews, and we had a conversation, if you remember, and you came down, Danny, and you were still shook up. And I felt so bad for you. You were so hurt what had happened. And then I looked up and I saw the whole team sitting up there, and I felt bad for you guys. So, you know, they say that get over it, It's just a game. You know, they're young, they'll move on. But it's not so easy because my father lost in the state championship in 1954 through controversy. And I know firsthand that shit stays with you forever.
Never goes away.
Forever. So the people that say, oh, it's just a game, I have a problem with that. So I wanted to have you guys on tonight because of respect I have for you and what happened. And it still bothers me because it was unfair.
We appreciate that because I'll tell you what, the hardships that they went through and the disarray early in the season, and then, you know, we'd have a couple steps forward and then a big step back. And that happened all through the season. And these guys could have gave up and they never did. I mean, you could see that potential. And, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yeah. These
guys kept drinking, you know, when they were hungry, they paid the price. You know, we broke every film. Every team we played, we'd have 4 or 5 films. We'd break them down. They'd watch them. You know, if you're going to guard so-and-so, you'd have, you know, 12 to 15 offensive possessions of what he does. All right. And so you can do all that and they not watch it, but you look on Huddle and all those kids have put in 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours watching film. I mean, so when you do all that and they pay the price, you know, and then something like that happens, it's really a testament to the character of your team and your kids. And, you know, they didn't go out and tear things up or put people down or yell, scream and holler how bad they got screwed. They did it with a lot of humility. That was pretty cool. Wasn't easy.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't. I was mad. So, fellas, you guys had an incredible season. It didn't end the way that you wanted. How has it been for you, looking back?
Well, I'd say, you know, I still think about it every day. You know, you get about once in a lifetime opportunity to play at the Civic Center. So, and we had basically just taken away from us. I remember earlier in the game, one of the things that bothered me the most was Collin hit a 3. That was also ruled a 2 by the same guy. Clearly behind, well, his foot was on the college line, but I mean, and then the same ref also ruled a Marian Catholic a 3 when their foot was on the line as well, on the same line. So
wow, I didn't know that, Andrew. Wow.
You really can't make it up. You really cannot make that up at all. So
yep. There's your 3 points, Chicago Rider.
You know, the other thing that still sticks with me is that was Marian Catholic's only year in 3A. So they, being a Catholic school, they're usually subject to the multiplier rule, which puts them in 4A.
Right.
But when you don't have enough postseason success over a few years, you need to apply for a waiver. So they got a waiver for 1 year to drop down and be in 3A. And then the next year they're right back in 4A. So that's just another one of those things where it's like, man, it's just, I don't know if it just wasn't meant to be. Sometimes life just throws curveballs your way and you got to deal with them. But I still feel like I'm still processing it right now, you know, 3 years later almost.
They caught some tremendous breaks in that game, no question. And Andrew, that's the first time I heard that they gave them a 3-pointer on which should have been a 2.
Coach Dehm, I think, posted on Facebook, and we went back and watched the film. We went back and watched that game. I think, yeah, same thing. Foot on the line, same guy ruled it a 3, and then we hit 2 of those and can't get it.
Absolutely. Fellas, please jump in.
Well,
I mean, go ahead.
Okay, I'll take it.
Payton, you're killing me, man.
Well, when I think back on the season, I like to just remember the good things, the ups and downs, and becoming a better team, becoming a family. The community was awesome. Played in one of the best high school basketball games that, I mean, I know I'm not that old, but that I can remember. I just like to think about the good things. I know we got screwed, but there's not much we can do about it. So I just like to focus on the positives.
I understand.
Yeah, I still think about that game a lot. And I know that the year after, my college team actually had to go play Northern Illinois. So I had to go back, and I had I walked in there and I just had the worst feeling ever. I hated being there the whole day.
Wow.
Like, going back there and playing and knowing what happened the last time I played here, like it just that was just a real crappy situation to be in, because it's just like all I was thinking about was, man, what could have been, or stuff like that. So I mean, I still think about it, but at the same time, I mean, we were the first team to ever get a sectional in Metamora history. So I mean, that's something that nobody can take away from us. So I mean, yeah, like just like Payton said, did we get screwed? Yeah, but I mean, I just remember some of the good things from that season.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to give you guys a chance to give a shout out to the people that supported you. Like I said earlier, the fans turned out for you guys. The student section was crazy, and the parents, the faithful from Metamora turned out for you guys. I'm going to give you guys this opportunity to give a shout out to the people that backed you through your incredible run.
Yeah, I would like to start off by saying thanks to all the parents that definitely traveled with us, students, and the faculty. There's some faculty that traveled, but I would say the coolest part was when we would come back into town after our sectional win. There was fire trucks that led us into the town, and that was a cool moment for us. And going back into town, came back into the high school. There's all the fans that were at the game that all parked at the high school, and they were all at the high school celebrating with us, and that was a really cool moment. And just to see how well the town, small town Metamora and Germantown, traveled all the way over to LaSalle, Peru, and all the way up to Northern Iowa and DeKalb. It was really cool to see.
Cool.
Yeah, no, you get a bunch of fans that are your diehard fans, and they're at every game, no matter how far it is away. And I know if you're from Metamora, everybody knows Joey.
Yep. Who's
game. Joey? Tell me about Joey.
You don't know about Joey?
Tell me about Joey.
All right, so Joey's one of the special need kids from the high school. He's probably one of the biggest sports fans at the high school. He's at all the games. His family goes, and he's honestly probably one of the loudest ones in the gym when he wants to be. He can get up there. But, he's at every game, and before the game, he's always talking to us, asking us. His favorite thing is, where's your mom? He always asks about your mom. And so, he's always asking us, so he's probably one of the biggest fans Metamora's ever had. But same thing with a lot of the.
Hang on, what's Joey's last name?
Schwenk.
Joey Schwang?
Yes.
Shout out to Joey Schwang. Shout out.
Shout out to Nick Sprout also. He was our cameraman.
Okay.
Yep. He did all.
Don't leave anybody out. This is your chance. So if you guys want to give thanks to the people that supported you, go right ahead.
Everybody. A big shout out to everybody, because I think this year kind of shows it too. The fans do help a lot. I mean, when you're at home, or even going up to Northern Illinois, we brought a couple hundred fans with us, whereas Marian Catholic probably only had not even 100 people probably there to watch them play. Our people that showed up to support us was very, very overwhelming, because I know a lot of people don't want to drive 2 hours just to go watch a high school basketball game. So, it just showed how much they actually cared and wanted to see us win.
Cool.
I want to give a shout out. I want to shout out all the parents of the basketball players for those pregame meals and stuff like that. That was very helpful.
Who had the best pregame meals?
They were all pretty good. I don't know. We'd always have Gatorade, waters, mac and cheese, pulled pork sandwiches, chicken breasts, just good food before games, and it was really helpful. So shout out to them.
All right.
I'm a little biased, but I think my mom's mac and cheese was the best.
Okay.
Good call, Thomas. Andrew, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Your mom and dad, Thomas. We had some great boosters And Dr. Hall was, at every game, anything ever happened, he was Johnny on the spot, and then his mom was kind of in charge of running the basketball moms and getting everything done. And then she was teaching Mrs. Nealon how to do that. And, that we just had great parents. And then, we had a doctor at every game. And, the people at Metamora, when I first got there, they said, well, you're not going to like it. It's a football town. But, we helped change the culture a little bit to where they just love basketball. The little kids don't know that it's supposed to be a football town. They think it's a basketball town at times. And that's kind of cool. But it takes, parents, as I look down my street, when I first moved in town, there was just a couple of hoops. There was 13 hoops down my street right now. And it takes parents that back their kids and send them to our camps and, do all the wristband leagues and the whole 9 yards. And we've helped change that culture in the 10 years that Justin and I have been here. But all the glory goes to our players because, you can set all that up and they not want to come. But what we've always tried to do is have it really be kind of like a family. And if you can't come to practice in the summer because you got to babysit your little brother, bring your little brother. We'll put him to work. We'll give him a ball. We'll do something. So, we've always tried to have that family feel. And I think our players have kind of really gravitated towards that and liked it. But, and I try to teach them things, the fundamentals that, Coach Dehm puts them through. And, the great thing is our kids really love the fundamentals because we do them every day. And then all of a sudden they get, better at the big things, but they always doing, the little things right. So it's been a process at Metamora, and it's been just a joy. I've never been to a funner spot because athletically, we're not going to overwhelm anybody. But when you have the will of somebody that wants to be successful, like our kids have done in our program, Curly Boo, it's been a joy to work there.
Awesome.
I would say we got to give a shout out to our other assistant coaches, our freshman coach, Coach Vaughn, our sophomore coach, Coach Brockhouse, and our other assistant, Coach Springer. Man, those guys sacrifice a lot of time during the season, thinking about, especially Coach Vaughn and Coach Springer, sometimes not coming to the varsity games on Friday night so they can go scout and film Washington or Limestone or Bloomington or Dunlap or whoever we're getting ready to play, and even, missing out on a regional game once in a while to go film our next opponent, or spending time away from their family to chart stats and stuff like that when we're crunched for time during the postseason. So definitely got to give a big shout out to those guys. And, we got the best underclass coaches around. I think our freshman coach really does a great job laying the foundation for the freshmen every time they come in. So we got tremendous help. It takes a lot to be a successful program the way we've done the last few years. It takes all hands.
Awesome.
I'll take my staff that I have there at Metamora against anybody, not just in the state, but anybody in the country. And I've been all over. You know what? But I'll tell you what. When you got a freshman coach that could easily be a head coach, your sophomore coach has been a head coach, a successful high school coach. Justin does us all a favor by sticking around and helping us. He ought to be somewhere else, but he's not. He stays right with us. So now I've got his brother that does all our weights. So yeah, somebody told me a long time ago, you're only as good as the people that are around you. And so I've always tried to surround myself with people that know a lot more than me. And in the long run, you got to let them coach. And when they first come in, I tell them, look, we don't have a head coach here. We have coaches. If you see something, you stop practice and you go tell them. And if it's not fixed, you go fix it. All right. And I think they flourish with that attitude. And I'm just real lucky and blessed that they stay. It's kind of cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Definitely a shout out to my family. They were always supporting me, from very start of the season all the way to the end. Shout out to the student section leaders, Michael Blow, for example. They always brought the energy. They got at least 100 students there. It was really awesome. And then definitely a shout out to the coaches because Coach Grieves, Coach Dehm, Brockhouse, Vaughn, Springer, there was probably no other team in the state or even the country that was more prepared for a game than we were. We were supposed to lose first round of regionals to Richwoods, and here we are against Marian Catholic. And we had stats, we had their tendencies, we had every single little thing about them, we knew. So
Turner Mann, you want to give a shout out to your peeps back in Metamora?
Just shout out to everyone that was involved with the program, coaches, parents. We were spoiled, everything, fans, traveling. We had a full packed gym every game. Didn't matter if we were playing at 10 a.m. or 8 o'clock at night. It didn't really matter. So I just really appreciate my time at playing for Metamora and everything that was done for me while I was there.
Awesome. Collin Dietz, take us home.
I love Nick Sprout's work on the camera. That guy brought energy to every single one of our practices. He was always.
He told the truth.
Yeah.
The play-by-play.
I didn't really get to hear the audio, but that guy was talking behind the camera too, and he knew what he was talking about. I know that.
Our fans were the greatest, Curly Boo. Everywhere we went, they just showed out. They were loud, proud. They were dressed out, but they weren't rude. You know what? We couldn't ask for better crowds. And it didn't matter if we were at home or on the road. We need a bigger gym. That's a good problem to have. When you got that,
those are good problems.
Come see
good problems. Well, look here, fellas. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I felt that you guys were more than worthy. You have all my respect. That's for damn sure. I hope you know that. And I'm sorry it didn't end the way that you wanted, but no one can ever take anything from you guys. And I hope that you look back very fondly on the run that you had. Okay. I hope you look back fondly in the friendships that you guys have made, the great coaches that you had, and the community that backed you. So that's why I wanted to have you on. Once this show is over, 5 minutes later, it's on demand. So you guys will be able to hang on to this, and that you guys came together during the difficult times that we're having right now. So I wanted everybody to know your story. Okay. I wish you all the best. Good luck with everything that's going on. And I hope to see you all when the smoke clears for all of us. All right. So thank you all. Much respect from old CBJ. All right.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right, gang. That's a wrap. The 2017-2018 Metamora Redbirds. They talk about March sadness, but you know what? They had a great damn year. And much respect for them. Tomorrow night on the show, we have the 2017-2018 Richwoods Lady Knights, who went all the way to the state championship in Class 3A. Coach Todd Hersey is coming on, along with Jada McLeod, Nia Williams, Courtney Crane, Cameron Taylor, and Tiana Johnson. They'll be on tomorrow at 7:30 Central. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and please be well, respect each other. Peace, y'all.